Hi everybody, my name is Liz Hoffman, and for the oral presentation project, our topic is adolescence. For our project, we'll be focusing on 15-year-old Jessica. Jessica has been struggling with abusing her dad's oxy medication due to the fact that her parents, her mom and dad, have forced her to break up with her girlfriend. Her parents do not believe in her being homosexual and that she is going to go to hell because of this. Jessica's just really feeling hurt over the situation and has chose to take the oxy to numb the pain that she is feeling. So right now, Jessica is in individual cognitive behavioral therapy, and as a family, her mom and dad will be attending family behavioral therapy to work through the pain and the issues that they are going through. So, a little definition on what family behavioral therapy is taken from the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Family behavior therapy, which has demonstrated positive results in both adults and adolescents, is aimed at addressing not only substance abuse problems, but other co occurring problems as well, such as conduct disorders, child mistreatment, depression, family conflict, and unemployment. So this therapy can work in two ways. One with the adolescent or child being the one with the substance abuse issue, or the adult. So it all depends on what the main problem is within the family. When focusing on any kind of family therapy, there are so many different assessment screening tools that can be used. For this kind of therapy, one of the most important ones is the family genogram. So the genogram is basically a more detailed family tree. A lot of therapists will present using this idea in one of their first sessions to get a better idea of what the family looks like out on paper. Using different shapes to identify genders, the family will help the therapist fill this out, showing who's married to who's related to who was married when, the deaths in the family, the reasoning for the deaths, everything like that, so the therapist can really understand the background of this family. Sometimes they'll also use an eco map. Another assessment tool is a family APGR, which is a 5-question assessment tool used for rapid assessment of family function and dysfunction. It measures an individual's level of satisfaction about family relationships. Another kind of assessment tool is the Family Adaptability and Cohesion Evaluation Scale. This is an assessment tool that focuses on family function. The client will rate their family on a 30-item questionnaire on a 1 to 5 scale, which measures the adaptability and cohesion of the family. Another tool called the Family Environmental Scale, or FES, is a tool developed um, which is a 90-item questionnaire used as a research tool to compare healthcare results with family variables. And again, there's so many different assessment tools to use, but the therapist will decide what they think based on their first interaction with the family. So when looking at the level of care recommendation for family behavioral therapy, recommendation is about 6 months to a year, depending on how severe the situation is. It obviously varies depending on multiple factors that are determined between the client's family, and the treatment provider. This kind of therapy is typically conducted in an outpatient clinic, but if there is a situation that the parent is the one with the substance abuse issue, there will be times that one or even two therapists will come into the home to determine what the home life really looks like. One therapist working with the client and the other working with the parent that has the substance abuse issue. So, family behavioral therapy follows a couple different frameworks here, systems theory being one, cognitive and behavioral therapy being the other two. Family behavioral therapy is a structured form of psychotherapy that seeks to reduce the stress and conflict by improving the systems of interactions between family members. So when looking at techniques, there are multiple treatment intervention approaches used in FBT. Some of those include skill-based interventions that reinforce healthy behaviors, behavioral contracting, skills training techniques targeted at decreasing impulses and urges to use substances, and communication skills to assist in development of healthy relationships and avoidance of substance abusing peers, and training associated with academic achievement. Some tools that are used in FBT include checklists, intervention assignments and worksheets, and a homework component. So it's common that therapists will give the family homework assignments to complete while they're at home and to bring back at the next session, so the therapist can track the progress of the home life with the family. So now we're going to go into the treatment plan. Some of the goals and objectives of FBT are exploring the dynamics of the family and its relationship to psychopathology, mobilizing the family's internal strength and functional resources, restructuring the maladaptive interrational family styles, including improving communication, strengthening the family's problem-solving behavior, and increased avoidance of drug and/or alcohol use. A session for FBT usually includes up to 20 treatment sessions ranging from 60 minutes to 2 hours. And again, the sessions are usually scheduled to occur between 6 months and a year. Some of the strengths of FBT are creating a greater insight, increased differentiation of individual family members, improved communication within the family, loosening of previously automatic behavior patterns, and resolution of the problem that led to the family to seek treatment initially. With the strengths, there always comes some weaknesses. So some of the weaknesses that could come from FBT are certain family members just might feel attacked or left out within session. Within therapy, you're now exposing feelings that you have been going through that maybe your family didn't know about. So this might be something they're unaware of and cause them to become upset over it, which is very normal. And sometimes issues and behaviors may get worse before they get better, especially once you're out of the therapy session and at home and processing things. To evaluate to see how the therapy is working and to see if progress is being made, these are some of the things that can be done. We could refer back to the initial treatment plan, which includes clear goals and objectives identified by the family and were created in the start of therapy. Various outcome surveys and checklists can be completed. A brief 1 to 2 minute rating scale completed by each client every session so the therapist can track the progress. And openly discussing feelings and behaviors from each family member in session to see where things seem to be playing out at. So at this time, we feel that Jessica's prognosis is probably still fair even after being in her own individual therapy. The family is the main root of where her pain is coming from right now. So the family still needs to put time into working on their relationships and accepting Jessica's sexuality. It's also important that they're clear understanding of why she initially used the medication. The family will continue to attend weekly sessions together and their progress will be evaluated over a 3-month period. Jessica will also continue with her individual therapy as well. So when looking at articles about FBT, it was actually kind of hard to find some articles that went into detail about different studies being done. But this was a very good article I found about an overview of FBT for substance abuse, including its application to both adolescents and adults. Um, this article really went in heavily on topics such as the theoretical and empirical background, intervention protocols, methods of enhancing motivation for treatment, and future directions. Another article that I found was just a basic article on family interventions. This article went into great detail about the different family interventions that are offered, um, and the different grades for family interventions, goals of the family therapy, and the reasonings for family interventions. This article also focused on family interventions for specific disorders, which focused on substance abuse a little bit in this article. And also went into great detail about challenges that therapists can run into when working as a family therapist, which is very interesting to read. Um, some of those things can be that the some one individual in the family therapy might feel like the therapist is on one person's side versus the other, or the family just feels attacked altogether by the therapist. Um, at the end of the day, family therapy is a very, very hard type of therapy for a therapist to really get into. It's hard working with a family and trying to figure out the root of the problems coming from multiple people. But at the end of the day, it's very proactive and it can be very helpful for people such as Jessica and her family. So that is all that I have for us, and these are my references. And thank you guys for listening.